Hello and welcome to I Am Geek, and this is episode 145. I'm Ryan. I'm joined by my brother Chris, our good pal Katrin, and a very special guest tonight. He was on episode 62, 63, somewhere in there, and he's back for episode 145. It is Micah from World of Micah. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing fantastic. Normally at 10:30, I'm pretty tired, but with everything going on in the world, my sleep schedule's just been crazy. So
I can hear you. I've got a 2-year-old and a 5-year-old, and they think that I should never sleep, and so I don't sleep.
Right.
At all. Yeah, they're up to they'll wake up and I'll be up to 3 a.m. or something, 4 a.m. with them. So fun times. If you're a listener and you haven't seen us on YouTube, check us out on YouTube. I Am Geek Show. Just type that in and we'll pop up because you missed some stuff.
You missed
some stuff tonight. We started a live stream because we're live streaming this right now.
There was some things.
And, there was some stuff that happened before we hit record for the podcast that you may want to check out. Tyler Dean, you're on my hit list now.
Skylar Dane.
Yeah, Skylar Dane, as he likes to be called. He sent me something. The listeners can't see it, but
Well, that's why they need to go to YouTube.
Every time I look at it, I throw up a little bit more in my mouth.
Oh, that's nice.
No, I'm just kidding. Tyler's a good buddy of the show, and I give him a hard time about his love/hate for Bob Iger, and mostly just hate. And he knows that I'm not a big fan of Rian Johnson, Last Jedi, so he sent a picture to me with Rian Johnson holding each other tightly.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
It is adorable.
As it should be.
Wow, oh my goodness. I'm looking at this picture more. I have a hat on that says directed by Rian Johnson. Oh man, I don't know if I can go on tonight.
Throwing you off, huh?
Yeah, throwing me off. Oh man. I thought it was going to be my birthday is May 12th is coming up.
So that's what I told Jennifer. I was like, he's going to think it's an early birthday present.
I was like, oh, sweet. I've been stuck in this. I've been in my house for 7 weeks. Stuck in here and going on 7 weeks. And I was like, oh, cool. A birthday present, early birthday present. And I opened up. It's Rian Johnson. There we go.
There you go.
Anyways. Micah, we are glad you're on. We know that you have nowhere to go because none of us do. So we're all stuck here in the same boat, I guess.
The world it hasn't really been stopping me, though.
I noticed that on some of your video.
Yeah.
But you're doing it safely.
I'm doing everything safely. That's the thing. At first, people were losing their minds. They saw me out driving, and I'm like, guys, you don't understand. Florida, you can drive in Orlando and go places and film the stuff I filmed, and I won't see a single person. But I'll bring my mask and I have hand sanitizer if I come in contact with anybody. But honestly, I just use it as time. I go out and film for takes me 30 minutes to an hour to film an entire thing. Because before I go out, I make sure I have everything completely planned out, where I'm going, how I'm doing this, each shot set up, what I'm going to say, blah, blah, blah. And for the most part, everything's been kind of going according to plan. And so I get there, do my thing, get back in my car, and I go home. And it's I just did what most people do, getting out and doing a 30-minute walk. Except I'm usually just in the same area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it really hasn't changed a whole lot except for I've been not going to theme parks.
Yeah.
So that's the new thing. But hopefully my plan with all this was, since I'm going daily with my videos, was to basically be hey, I don't only do theme park stuff, so I'll be gaining a whole new batch of followers this way. So it's kind of a blessing in disguise in a way.
Sure.
Yeah, it's I think for a lot of YouTubers, this has caused them to expand their creativity and do more things than what they're used to. So I think it's a good thing.
Dude, the thing about, I tell people all the time, Walt Disney World is the perfect backdrop for any video. You could sit there and talk about why you think spearmint is the best flavor gum, but if you got Cinderella Castle behind you, people are going to watch.
It's true.
And any theme park, they're made for the eye. They're easy on the eyes, So I think people are definitely going to have to think out of the box. And I think this is good, though. It's kind of testing some of the YouTubers out there, like how creative can you get? You know?
There's been
it's been kind of fun for me. We've been doing all kinds of stuff. I used to never show food stuff, and we've been making food at the house, and we played a board game, and
Yeah, I saw that you made one of my favorite dishes. I guess you want to call it that. You made the Tonga toast.
Dude, that's been, it's honestly, like, it's funny. That was like, Abby and I always talked about doing that at the house, and then actually doing it. It's really not that crazy. It's just all the Disney food we've made. The Tonga toast, we did the grilled cheese, everything Disney makes. There's so many steps that it's like, I tip my hat to those chefs back there because they're slinging Tonga toast every morning, you know, and those grilled cheese sandwiches you get everywhere. It's like those things. I mean, it's a grilled cheese, but they put some extra TLC in there, man. Like there's a couple of steps, and the secret was not to use butter. You use mayonnaise and garlic powder and a little bit of heavy whipping cream, and you mix it together and you spread that on the toast. And when you put it on the pan, that's what grills it. It gives it a completely different taste.
Never
I've heard
get a grilled cheese.
I've heard of that using mayonnaise. I've heard of that, spread mayonnaise on that. But when I make a grilled cheese, I basically make it how our grandmother used to make it, which is basically just with a whole stick of butter.
Yep. That's it, man.
So it always tastes great. So no matter how it is.
and I used the since we made the mayonnaise like garlic spread, I used it the next day. Made a ham and cheese sandwich and used that on there and wrote it on there. I was like, that's the secret. It has that, like, when you taste the bread, you're like, I feel like I'm at Beaches and Cream.
Oh, cool.
Or Woody's Lunchbox. Apparently, they have grilled cheeses at Woody's Lunchbox now.
They do. They have a brisket grilled cheese.
I had that once, right when Toy Story Land first opened, and now if you go and try and eat in Toy Story Land, it's like, I don't know. There's always a huge line.
Oh yeah,
blows my mind.
Yeah, I was there for opening day, Mickey's Runaway Railway, because I was there for a conference.
Yeah.
See, we're always just crossing paths.
I didn't know you were there.
Yeah, it was. I was there for a podcasting conference, and I flew in the day that it opened. And I'm like, well, I'm going straight to Hollywood Studios.
Heck yeah!
And see if I can get on it. So I was probably like there after the hoopla of the morning.
Me and Adam and our friend Jamie, we all got there around like 3:45, and we walked up to the security gate, and the security was like, "We're telling you guys now, you can stay here. These are the ones that are going to be open first, so you might want to line up here." So everybody was sitting there. There was maybe like 20 of us, all started getting those lines. Then they moved us inside the security gate and moved us up to the turnstile. We were literally, Jamie was the first person to put her finger on the touch thing. I don't know if it's not a turnstile, but the Mickey to Mickey. And then we were on the very first vehicle of the day, and it was the craziest thing. Like, you can see in my video, like, us walking up, and there's like all these managers and executives and some Imagineers and cast members just clapping for us. And I'm like trying to look at the building because I'm like, oh my gosh, Movie Ride was my favorite movie. I mean, my favorite ride. So I'm like looking around, like, I can't believe I'm back in this building. Yeah. And Adam's like tapping me. He's like, dude, they're clapping for us. I'm like, oh, that's great. I'm totally missed out. But then when we got off the attraction, there's people standing there and they're clapping for us again because we're getting off of the first vehicle. And that was just like, that was so cool. Like, they didn't give us anything or they didn't do anything like, thing like that. But it was like, to know that I was the first person on the first vehicle in my old home of my favorite attraction is something like you can't put money on. Like, that was just too cool.
Yeah.
But
I love the ride. It was.
I've done it five times. I think 5 times now. And every time I go in, I notice something new.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, I rode it a bunch when I was there.
It's fun, dude.
I think I went to the Magic Kingdom one day when I was there because I was there for like a week almost. Yeah. But the rest of the days I would go to the conference and then just go straight to Hollywood Studios.
There's something about studios, man. It'll always be tomorrow's the anniversary, 31st.
Oh wow!
And no one will be there.
No one will be there to celebrate it. This is the first time in 30 years.
They should do a live stream or something with just one guy standing there with the party hat on, just with the little party blower. That'd be hilarious.
Going on all the rides by himself.
So weird, man.
That would be. I would watch that.
Just him on the Tower of Terror.
Speaking of, we can talk some more Hollywood Studios stuff. But speaking of the YouTube, thinking outside the box, there's this channel called Lemon Made, and basically do stuff just like, is it a lemon or is it a maid? Well, since they're stuck at home, today they had a video, and they played "What Ride Are We On" or near, and it was the Disneyland Xbox game.
Yeah. And
so one person was blindfolded, and the other two would guide the character around, and they'd have to listen and be like, I'm on, the carousel, or I'm on Pirates of the Caribbean. It was so funny, and that was just like a perfect example.
That's awesome.
Thinking outside of the box.
Yeah.
Totally.
Maybe with the game, but I don't have an Xbox, and I'm like, oh man.
I have the demo of the game on my Xbox.
On Xbox. Well, there you go. Just go walk around the park.
I thought about buying it because I was like, this would be cool, but it's kind of cheesy, but it's cool.
But it's the park. It's Disneyland.
You're right.
Walk around. It's a lot cheaper than
drive-through of the entire park the other day. I went and drove through and just filmed. I knew it would be easy to film while driving because no one's there, so I could physically just stop. But also, it's weird. I'm driving 10, 15. I mean, I'm not even putting the gas on. But if you watch the video, it looks like I'm flying. I don't know what cameras do when you're in the car, but it's like I'm going 10, 15 miles an hour. And it's it looks like I'm going 100 miles an hour on the property. But yeah,
I was watching it with my son, and he loves police and security guards. And you mentioned as you were driving past the gates, you're like, yeah, and there's a security guard. He's like, where? I don't see the security guard. He should show the security guard. I'm like, he can't drive up to the security. He goes, but I like the security guards, because he's 5 years old.
Right. Yeah,
really
they're just sitting there. They had. I remember the first day it closed. Adam and I went driving through the property and we filmed it. And you could physically drive up to the gate, where you pay toll plaza. But then after that, they had cones, and now they won't even let you get up to the toll plaza. They have cones, and they have OPD, and they have Disney security. So they have plenty of people there stopping people from even trying to drive up. Which is a good thing. I don't want anybody driving. It's weird to drive by Epcot parking lot and seeing no one in the middle of the day in the parking lot.
Yeah.
And not seeing a monorail going by. It's kind of weird. I've seen plenty of Disney parks empty just from being there at Rope Drop, being the first one there, and I've done stuff I got invited to go as a pass holder to go see Toy Story Land. No one did it. I don't know why. It was me and maybe 5 other people in this one day. And they invited, because I talked to some of the cast members, they were like, yeah, we invited a lot of people. But I guess because it was the middle of a weekday, and it was you had to be there at 6:30 to 7:30 in the morning. And they gave you these fast passes. You go in, and you could ride Slinky Dog, you could ride the Swirling Saucers, and you could ride Midway Mania, and they gave you a fast pass for all 3. Well, I used my fast pass for Slinky, and then I got off, and the cast member was like, do you want to go again? I was like, yeah. I had the whole car to myself. It was amazing. I rode it 6 or 7 times, and I didn't even ride Swirling Saucers because I was like, no, I can ride that anytime. I'm not going to waste the day on that, because I wanted to film the emptiness. And then as I was leaving, you saw people at the turnstiles waiting to get into the park. So it was it was cool. The sun was up, and it was this is so weird. I don't know why people didn't go to that. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, that happened to me on not Flight of Passage. What's the other ride in Avatar?
Na'vi River Journey.
Na'vi River Journey. It was right after they opened, and it was extra magic hours or something.
Yeah. So
I was the only one in line, and I got on the boat and went around by myself on the boat. Got to the entrance, and the guy was like, you want to go again? And I'm like, sure, why not? And I went around again, and he goes, you want to go again? And I'm like, fine, that's fine. And then I went around again, and he was like, "There's still nobody there." He's like, "You want to go again?" I'm like, "I'm good."
Yeah.
three times is enough. He's like, "Okay, man."
Kind of rude at that point.
Yeah.
Start taking a nap in there then.
Yeah, it was very relaxing though, because that ride's relaxing anyways. Yeah. But having nobody else, you're just sort of like, oh, just taking in the scenery and the music. One of our friends from Disney World is on here. He works at Hollywood Studios, or he did. I don't know if he's going back or not. But he said that the cast members got train whistles. All of them got train whistles when Mickey's Runaway opened.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's cool. Hey, Winchester, how you doing? I met him, and he worked on Batuu. And I met him there on my last trip when I was there. The main reason I went for the conference, but I wanted to show off my Darksaber that I made. I don't know if you've seen pictures of this, Micah.
I might have.
You might have?
I might have. I don't know.
Oh, yeah. I'll show it to you.
The thing is, like, I only follow on social media stuff. I only follow certain people, and you guys are one of them. And a lot of the things I follow is like hashtags on Instagram. I like doing that because you just type in like hashtag like MGM Studios, and then anybody you post with that hashtag, you'll see the photo, and you kind of can weed out some cool stuff.
Yeah, our listeners are probably going, not this again. So I have a couple of Savi lightsabers, and they were both gifts, which is funny. But I decided I wanted to make a Darksaber.
Yeah.
Or my version of a Darksaber. So I made this thing. There it is.
You did that?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yes, sir. So yeah, all it is a sleeve that I made that can go over.
Oh wow!
So it could go over any lightsaber blade.
That's amazing. I was kind of trying to like looking at it through the computer. I was like, how do you do that? I thought you would have painted it and then like cut out.
That's what one person thought.
Yeah. Dano thought that from
Dano. Yeah, Dano, that guy in Star Wars, man.
Yeah, he saw it and he was like, "I'm making me one," and he like painted his blade and everything. And then afterwards, I was like, "Dude, it's just a sleeve." He goes, "What?"
Yeah, well, he completely took it apart, like took the insides out.
It was interesting.
It looked cool.
And then I made this. I'm sorry. What do I do?
Ryan's got to show all his toys.
Yeah, I made
for all you listeners out there.
Yeah, I don't have an elemental lightsaber. We'll cut this out. But I wanted to do something for like Earth Day, so I made this blade. So it looks like a vine going up a wooden thing. So I painted it to make it look like wood.
That's awesome.
So I debuted that on Earth Day. It was pretty fun. Okay, I'm done.
I will say those look better in the dark.
Yeah,
like
they look.
If you look at the pictures you have, they look really slick. It's kind of weird when you have lights shining on it and it's light, but they look really cool in the dark.
Yeah, when I took the Darksaber to Batuu, and people were going bonkers. I thought maybe people would be like, "Oh, that's cool," but people were going insane over it. I had like PhotoPass people following me around, like running me down, taking pictures, and saying, "We've got you on the wall backstage now," and all this stuff.
That's awesome.
That's so cool.
You're never allowed to enter again. You're on the wall backstage. That's
but speaking, so I guess this could be the sponsor for the week. Why not? This Saturday, hopefully this Saturday, my shop, I'm Geek Shop, is opening back up.
Oh,
for new orders, hopefully, for the sleeves. So if you want a sleeve, you guys are the first to know about this. I'm Geek Shop on Etsy. You can get the sleeves. There's only going to be a limited amount because I just have a limited amount of stuff that I can make it with stuck here in quarantine. But, I wanted to open it up right around May the 4th. So I'm going to do it this
that's coming up. Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
I think we lost your audio, Micah.
What's up?
We lost your audio.
You lost my audio?
We hear him.
Yeah.
I can still hear him.
Can you hear him?
Yeah, we can.
You can hear me.
Yeah, can you hear us?
Oh, maybe
I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Maybe it was my headphones.
Yes, I think that's what it was.
Anyways, I can hear what you said. So.
Yeah, this is like the first time too. Nobody's going to be at Hollywood Studios for May the 4th. And is this the first time that May the 4th was with Batuu open? No, because it was open last.
No. Yeah, it was open last year. There's going to be some online thing or something that they're going to be doing for May the 4th Star Wars. Somewhere I saw it.
People that do Celebration, Ready Pop or whatever they're called, is going to do an online Star Wars convention on May the 4th. And there's some funny light steps that are going to happen.
You know what's funny about me and Star Wars? I like Star Wars, but I'm not. It's not my like thing. So people always they're like, why didn't you go to the opening of Batuu and Galaxy's Edge and everything? I'm like, because I'm just one less body that didn't need to be there. That someone else who's a big fan could be there. That's my excuse. That's what I tell people, because I'm not. It's just not my thing. Now if they had they opened like the the magical world of John Carpenter's Halloween or the magical world of Back to the Future Land or something, it'd be a different story. But yeah, I don't know. It's always so weird because I get some weird reactions being a Disney guy and not,
Yeah.
Well, everybody's got their own things.
Yeah, I don't own anything Star Wars except I have the first 3 on DVD. My wife's a big fan, but she's not like one of those outward fans. Like people come to her and they're like, "Oh, I love your tattoo." She has the Rebel Alliance tattoo, and she's like, "Oh yeah," like she forgets about it. And it's so weird, man. Like, especially living here in Florida with all this stuff, like you see Galaxy's Edge advertisements everywhere. And I'm the same way with Harry Potter too. It's like, I've seen them all, they're cool, but I'm not. I mean, I don't have a wand. I don't.
Yeah.
It's just never been my thing. I don't know why. I guess I'm just not a true nerd, man.
Right. Let me write a note here. Don't talk about Star Wars any.
No, Star Wars is cool. It's so cool. When I see stormtroopers walking around the park, I'm like, that is freaking cool. Like, it's so cool to me. I love Darth Vader, and I always loved watching them as a kid. Like my dad and I always bonded over that, and it was so cool collecting finding the old action figures. So I remember us going around and finding the old Kenner, the old school, ones you find garage sales and stuff, because people were just, Star Wars. I mean, this was around the Episode 1 era, and people were all about the newer stuff when I got into it, and I don't know, man. Like when I see stormtroopers and stuff, it's definitely eye candy. It's cool. It's that looks awesome. I get it. I get the whole fandom. It's just not. I don't know.
Yeah, the stormtroopers are made for this thing going on. So maybe when the parks open back up, there'll be stormtroopers everywhere because they have the outfit for it.
Sweet.
They have the face protection,
respirators, and everything. Yeah.
Sweet.
Yeah,
that'd be cool.
So
Tyler Castle.
Yeah. Ooh, I'd go for that. Tyler Dean is on here now. He's on the live stream. Tyler Dean.
I was gonna try to bring him in, and I just didn't want to risk it in case my computer decided not to handle all of those faces at one time. So we'll have to try it sometime. But I feel bad. He was looking forward to being on, but. Yeah, we had a few comments. Batuu Day is May the 4th. This is from Winchester, and it is the first one.
Wow.
So that's exciting.
It feels like maybe so.
Because it didn't open till the fall, right? Or
I don't remember when it is.
I don't either. It seems it's all a blur.
This whole past year has been blowing my mind with everything. I can't keep up with dates.
Was the LA one open?
Yeah, because it opened in yeah, it wasn't open in last May.
Yeah. There you go.
Wow.
Or was it was Memorial Day? Was it Memorial Day at Disneyland? Does that sound familiar?
I'm gonna get on my trusty cell phone.
We have
here.
a way to find out.
Year is
That's the sad thing. We're sitting here guessing like morons.
Where am I?
That too.
I mean, it'll probably pop up here in a minute.
Okay. All right. The first attraction at Disney's Hollywood Studios opened December 5th, 2019. And Disneyland Park January 17th, 2020. So Rise of the Resistance opened December 5th. That's Rise of the Resistance.
Yeah.
It's not talking about... Okay, here it is. The lands were announced on 2015. Disneyland opened May 31st.
Okay, not crazy.
So May 31st, 2019 is coming. Okay, so this next month. And then August 29th was ours. So no, we did not have it. Neither did they.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, this will be the first, May the 4th. Weird.
There's nobody there.
If you see me disappear from the screen for a minute, if you see me disappear from the screen, it's because I've gone to get more headphones. Because I think my headphones are going out.
Those are your fancy headphones too.
It's just not good.
Yeah, those are in-ear monitors.
Yeah.
Those are the best, man. I used those in my band for years and years.
Me too. Yeah. I haven't used them in a while. The last place I've been playing, they were old school with the floor monitors, which I like better anyways.
Dude, no, there's a different feeling. You don't feel like when you wear the in-ear monitors playing live music, you feel like you're like in a studio, if you've ever done that. And like, you feel like I don't know, it's weird. It's kind of like when you're in a car and you can still hear people talking amongst you, but you're listening to music.
Yeah.
That's what it feels like to me. It's like, am I being too loud when I'm talking?
Right.
You know what I mean? It's so weird. When you get the floor monitor thing, I don't know.
My son has started playing online games. He's 8 years old, and he plays with some friends. It's not like just random people. But he gets these headphones on and a little headset, and they're yelling at each other because they have no idea how loud they are. And it's like, okay, let's go over here, and we're going to do this. It's so funny. And I'm trying to work upstairs, work from home, and I'm explaining to people who I'm talking to and what's going on because my kid's screaming at somebody. But
I probably was like that my first time being on a podcast. I was probably like, "Hi, can you hear me?"
Awesome.
Yeah. I don't know how loud I'll talk, and then sometimes I'll take an ear out, and I'm like, "Oh, I'm talking so loud because it's all muffled."
Yeah.
So you mentioned Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, sorry. I was just saying I have no clue either. No, I don't need to talk. It's fine.
No, we know you have no clue. It's okay.
It's fine. It's fine. Just go on. It's okay.
I was going to ask that you mentioned your wife.
Just keep talking.
Yeah. The last time you were on.
Ask the question.
Yeah, go ahead.
You weren't married, but now you are married.
Yep.
How has life changed? And there's only one answer for this. So.
If she listens, especially.
If she listens.
Dude, I'll tell you, man. Abby and I, we were together for 5 years before being married. And then, getting married, it's just kind of like I told her, I was like, I already felt like no weight on my shoulders already with how comfortable in our relationship and how, awesome it is. But, once you get married, it's just kind of like, cool. Now I can it's like we went and bought a couch the other day, and it was our first time ever buying couch together and buying our first piece of furniture.
Yeah.
And it was the coolest thing. It's so cool to have those little moments, those little adventures. And then today we got our keys to our new place, and we went in and just looked around, and I was like, this is ours. We can do whatever we want. We can put a poster here, we can put something there, we can do this is ours. It's so cool. And I don't know, man, I recommend being married. If you haven't tried it yet before, 10 out of 10 would recommend. It's cool to be married to someone who, here I am at 11 o'clock at night doing this kind of stuff, and there's oh yeah, go ahead, podcast. I'm like, hey, the next 3 days I'm going to be packing and stuff, so I'm going to go out today. And I went and filmed 4 episodes for the next 4 days. Wow. And she was like, go ahead, take your time. She's totally cool about that kind of stuff.
Good. Yeah.
And, you just, I don't know, man. I've seen a lot of different relationships and stuff who don't have a a good balance, and we've always just seemed to have a good balance. So life has definitely changed a lot, but it's definitely changed for the better. She's awesome.
That's cool. That's cool. I saw your latest video today, the current state of Legoland.
Yeah,
and I think this is the first of its kind on YouTube. Somebody goes to a theme park that they've never been to before and does not go in the theme park, but films the outside of the theme park.
That was literally in my head. I was like, here I am. I was in the area because I was doing the other episodes, and I was like, oh, dude, Legoland's up here. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go film the perimeter. I don't even know what it looks like, because the last time I was at Legoland, it was, like I said in the video, Cypress Gardens. Yeah. And my grandparents lived in Lakeland at the time when I was a kid, so we used to come here on spring break. We'd go Disney. We'd do a day at Universal, because back then you didn't have Islands of Adventure. So you needed one day at Universal, and you got to do everything. Like, no one was there. It's crazy. Yeah. And then we would do like MGM, Epcot, Magic Kingdom, and then we would do a day at Cypress Gardens. And I remember the day at Cypress Gardens was just, my brother and I could just run around that place because it was not big, and we were just running around, her and my dad and or my grandfather. They would just walk around, and kind of just chit chat and stuff. And we were just watching all the shows and looking at the topiaries. And then so I drive up to Legoland, and I'm like looking, and I'm like, this is such a random place to put a park. Everything's built up around it now. It's kind of like Disneyland. It's like 1 minute you're in Disneyland, you look across the street and there's, McDonald's and stuff. It's like the freeways right there. But driving around the perimeter, it was funny. Some of the cast members, I don't know what you would call them there, but some of the cast members at Legoland could see me, like I'm holding my camera and I'm like driving like this. I'm barely inching through the property, and I'm like filming around this perimeter fence. This one guy in the golf cart was just like, he's like, oh yeah, that guy's probably doing YouTube or something. I'm cool with that kind of stuff, like you see, I don't know, you get different reactions. And then you get some people, like, you drive around, you start filming, they're like looking at you like, like, what are you doing? Yeah. It's like, in the year 2020, if you see someone walking around talking to a camera or talking to a phone, it should be like, I don't know, it shouldn't be a big mystery.
Yeah.
But, a couple of years ago, I remember filming at like Magic Kingdom on my phone, and I remember just like people looking at me like, why is he talking to his phone? Like, is he like, so now, you walk in and it's just like, all you see is this, subscribe, make sure you subscribe.
Click that bell.
Yeah, like everyone's there doing that kind of stuff. Now it's just like,
I was walking through Epcot, I think it was back in October or something, and there was these two younger guys, and they were doing just that, and they had their film, and they were like, yeah, we're live streaming, and because I'm like 41, I'll be 42 couple weeks or whatever, and so I'm walking, and I'm like right sort of in front of them, and I just turn around like full force right in front of their camera and go, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell. And they're like, what? So I just turned around and kept walking. And they're like, thanks, man.
Now it's like with the cast members, it used to be is like, oh, is that for YouTube? And they're like, let me wave, or they'll be like, that's cool, what's your channel? And I'll tell them, and they're like, oh, cool, I'm gonna look it up. And then now it's like, is that TikTok? And I'm like,
oh gosh,
I don't do TikTok, man.
Well, just make sure they're actually holding a phone and not just like a block of wood or something, just walking around talking to it. Because then it may be a little, I should
get an old school camcorder, like old school, and take that in there, turn that sucker around.
They probably won't let you in with that thing, though. They're like, this is not a real thing. This is probably a gun.
The gimbals. I remember when people, I had friends who had those gimbals, the DJI gimbals, and they would try and take them in the parks, and they were like, security would look at them and like hold it up, and they're like, oh yeah, look, I put my phone on it, it moves. And they're like, oh yeah, come on in with it. I don't know. Everything changes, man.
Yeah. Oh well, TikToks is like that in The Lion King, where he goes, everything here is yours, and what's the dark place over there? Oh, that's TikTok. Pretty much. what I know about it.
To TikTok, and the only ones she sends me there are always puppies. They're always like French bulldogs, and she's like, "This is our dog," because we have a French bulldog, and she's like, "They're all the same," and they are all the same. They're so funny. He likes to do this thing where he's trotting and walking with you, then all of a sudden he stops, and he doesn't want to move, and you're like literally like pulling him, and he's like just like sitting there like pulling you with all force, like, "I don't want to move anymore." And we found a video of a dog doing that same thing, and I was like, they're all the same.
All the same.
That's our cat when we take it outside. My wife likes to take our cat on a leash outside.
Oh, nice.
She doesn't want to walk around. She just flops down and then just stays there. And you're like, "Hey, you want to? There's grass over here." Like, I'm good.
Yep, I'm good.
So this all started with a hamburger, right?
Essentially, well, it started. I did it with Instagram. I would take cool pictures of like the Rocketeer stuff at MGM, or like I'd find, the little things at the parks and stuff, and I would just post them on Instagram and stuff. And I mean, a few people were like, this is cool, and then I was just hanging out with a few people who were doing it at the time, and they were just kind of bugging me about it. They're just like, why don't you just film it? They're like, just film it and put it up there, because at least you have like documentation of it, and if it goes away, there's a video of it, And so I was like thinking in my head, like, oh, I don't know how comfortable I am. Like, I'd always talk to the camera and stuff with my band, but I always had 3 other guys around me. And so I didn't really have to be the main focus, and it was like, when I did it on my phone, I didn't know how to properly oh, wow, look, my phone disappeared there. I'm trying to show you, but I didn't know how to properly hold it. And there was just so many things. And so one day, randomly, I was thinking about going and trying that new Whopper. At the time, the Halloween black Whopper, where they took the bun and it was black, like Worcestershire sauce and all this kind of stuff in it. And everybody was talking about how it made your poop turn green. And I was like, well, I'm not going to talk about that because I don't want, But I was like, I'm going to go try it. And what I'll do is I'll just go and film. I'll be in my car, so that way I'm not being awkward around a bunch of people. And I'll film it in my car. I can, splice it up and go and try the burger and talk about it. And then I can go home and put the footage on my computer. And if I like it, I'll release it. I never intended to release it. But I was like, well, this burger thing's kind of a big thing right now. Maybe I can just put it up there and, people stumble upon it and watch it. And, it turned out to be okay. I was like, the footage is pretty good, I guess. I don't know. And I just threw it on there. And then I went out that same day and filmed, I went to the House of the Future from Kissimmee on 192. I went to this old school in Windermere, Florida. And then I went somewhere else. I can't remember. And I had all these videos lined up, and then I sent them over to Adam, and I was just like, hey man, will you check these out and watch them? And he's just like, yeah man, everything's good. The more you do it, the more you practice, you'll become, more fluent with it and stuff. Because when I first started, I was talking so slow, and it was just, I don't know. I was doing 1.5 minute videos and stuff, and I was, and I'd go out and oh my gosh, I spent 30 minutes doing that 1.5 minutes, and and then I don't know, man. It was just one of those things. I never intended on it being my main thing that I do all the time. It was just kind of when I go to the parks, 'cause I always went to the parks at least once or twice a week. It's when I go, I'll just go and film something, and then I'll go and ride or two, and then I'll go home. And around that time, this was right before Adam was thinking about moving to California, and we were we were hanging out every day during this era, and he was always like, yeah, let's go and let's film this. We'll do this together, and we'll do that together. You can be in my video and do this and that. And the day that I went with him, and we did a whole thing of farewell to Hollywood Studios, just trying to show all the old stuff. That was the day I was like, okay, I'm going to try and do this at least twice a week. If I got 2 days off a week, I can go on my 2 days off, film 2 videos, and have them and release them twice a week. And I did that for years, and, started seeing it grow and things like that. But as I was telling you guys earlier before we started, these past 50 days, something, I've seen it just, it's so wild. I love doing the daily thing. It's awesome. It's literally become something that I look forward to doing, and it's not a chore. That's the thing. YouTube's never been a something oh, can I do this YouTube video? It's not anything like that, you know? And it's just, I don't know, it's wild to think like when you start something and you stick to it and you see it, you guys know this from doing the podcast. It's your little thing. You start this idea and then it just becomes something that, it's yours. And you can do whatever you want to with it.
Yeah.
And I don't know. Everybody's always asked me like, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Why don't you get better equipment? Why don't you do, and I'm just like, I guess Adam and I come from the same background. So he like agrees with me on this. We've had this conversation several times. And I've had this conversation with my brother who's in a band. I come from like the punk rock music scene and like the whole very DIY, like make your own flyers, print them out, go and hang them up. Being online and promoting your band yourself kind of thing. And I don't know, doing the whole like just me in a good quality camera. I've used the same camera for 5 years. It's a Sony, and the battery in that thing is the exact battery that came with it, which just blows people's minds.
Wow. Yeah.
And I went out the other day and I did 4 full videos that were like at least 15 minutes long in footage, and my battery was like at 30% when I was leaving. Like it'll last you all day, especially in the Florida heat. Like, because your camera will say too hot and it'll shut down sometimes.
Yeah.
And but that, and then I just do everything on iMovie, and it's I don't know. It's always just been like what I knew. Do it yourself. Don't try to hide behind flashy stuff, because sometimes people can see through that kind of stuff. I see a lot of people who get like all this really good equipment and they get all these like crazy graphics and they try and get just way ahead of the game. And it's like I tip my hat to those guys for trying to think out of the box and try to be, professional. At the same time, it's like, I don't know. I feel like a lot of people who send me genuine messages and they're like, "Hey man, I really like your videos because you're yourself, in the videos, and you're not trying to hide behind all this kind of stuff." And that's kind of how I've always been with anything I do. I guess that's just, I guess you guys can understand good Southern upbringing.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
People see through the smoke and the mirrors, man.
Yeah.
So it all started with a hamburger.
All started with the ham. That's the name of this episode. It all started with a hamburger.
I really don't say my YouTube journey really started though. I think it really started like 2 years ago. I say like solid 2 years ago is really when I knew what I wanted to do on the channel, and I really started getting like a formula, and I started really like I knew exactly what I wanted to do in each episode. If you go back and look at some of my other stuff, like I didn't know what I was doing. Like I'd add music and have like these weird like montage segments, and I'd have like just so much weird stuff because I just didn't know what I wanted to do, and it was kind of like the experimental part, and I'm sure you guys have had that in your past too, just trying to do some.
Yeah, go listen to some of the first episodes. And
it's cool to look back and see where you come from. And it's like, it's so weird. I feel like the longer you do something, the more you like, when you first start, it's like you do all this work and all this stuff. And then the longer you do it, you're like, I don't need to do all that stuff. I just need to keep it basic. Like, get to the point, show what I want to show, be done with it. And that's what people want to see. There's no, and I feel like a lot of sitcoms were kind of that way. Look back at like some of the old sitcoms we used to watch growing up, like, I Love Lucy. Or then the 90s, you had Full House, Family Matters. It was all the same formula stuff. We knew what was going to happen, and you tuned in for that. And that's what I kind of want to portray on my channel as well.
Yeah. Be the New Hope. Don't be the Last Jedi.
There you go. I know. Yeah, dude.
Oh man. So when the world starts turning again, because right now we're still in lockdown.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to listen to this, this series of podcasts in 10 years or so, and they're going to be like, what are they talking about? But hopefully they're saying that. What's a dream filming location, dream place you want to go?
Well, there's something happening, and I'm not saying anything yet, but I will tell you this video and hopefully the thing I'm getting to do next month, this month, May, coming up. There's something I'm getting to do that's never been able to happen, ever. And I'm getting access to go somewhere and film something. And it goes along with this other idea that I'm honestly telling you, I've been thinking about this and working on the locations and everything for this for like 3 years.
Yeah.
Only a few people know about it, but I'm hoping to have it out legitimately within 48 hours of filming the spot that I'm supposed to get access to in May.
Awesome. It's going to be the space station.
Yes. Awesome. No, it's just
it's Legoland. He's going to Legoland.
That was the preview
video. They felt so bad for me. They're giving me private access. No, I'm getting to do that, but yeah, when this is all over, dude, like my wife and I are like, we're going to California. There's a ton of stuff I want to film out in California that I've never done because, everyone gets on this mindset of like, I know you guys probably get this way too. You go on a vacation, it's somewhere you've been before, and you're like, yep, I'm gonna go do my thing. It's like, should I go and do that? I've never done it. No, I'll do it next time. We've done that so many times. We've gone to California, and like, there's so many things I've never done that I really want to do. And with this whole pandemic thing, I keep saying this over and over in my videos. From now on, if there's something I want to do, I'm doing it. I don't care. I'm doing it. If it even crosses my mind, like, should I do that? Do it. Because you never know. Yeah. And so there's that. And like, really want to get out to California. Been really wanting to, there's a lot of places that is kind of worth like a day drive from Florida. Getting into Florida and getting out of Florida is the worst part of the drive. Once you get out of Florida, it's like everything flies by. But if you've never driven to Florida, when you get to the tip top, whether you come in from Jacksonville or Tallahassee, it's like there is just something that's just pressing down your car. And it's just like the slowest drive ever. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, it's the humidity.
Dude, well, we went home to Mississippi to see our family right when this thing first happened because no one really knew it was like what it was. It was just like, hey, theme parks are closing, things are closing, businesses are closing. And we were just like, we were supposed to go to New Orleans. We had a vacation planned in New Orleans. And so I had a ton of filming stuff that I had planned for that. And we were just like, you want to go to Mississippi and see the family? And so we drove up there and gosh, man, I remember us driving home and it was like everything flew by on the way home. We went by a Buc-ee's.
Yes.
And got all, it was amazing. I haven't been to Buc-ee's in literal years. And as soon as we got into Florida, I was driving and I was just like telling Abby, I was like, put this band on Spotify. And I was like, this album's awesome. I can listen to it all the way through and sing along and make this trip fly by. By like the fourth album, I was like, how much longer do we have? And she was like, you got an hour and a half. And I was like, this feels like forever, dude. Like, oh my gosh. But I don't know, man. I'm going to be going to California hopefully soon. And I don't know. I feel like the sky's the kind of the limit right now with doing stuff because we've been talking about doing another cruise. We've been talking about doing a ton of stuff that we just want to do. And we always talk about doing it and we never really do it, And with this whole lockdown thing, it's definitely going to change my mind on stuff. And I'm sure with you guys,
Yeah, we have a trip planned for October to come to Disney World. Katrin and both of us do to go together, and it's like
it's up in the air right now.
What's it going to be like even by then?
I mean, this is me being optimistic, but they're already starting the phase 1 in certain states, and I think maybe the theme parks will open up in like June or July for like Florida residents, as a part of phase 1. That'd be kind of cool, or phase 2, whatever it is at that time. And then maybe, because you got to think, man, September and October and December are September, October, November, December. Those 4 months are like the busiest months, I believe, for the parks more than summer. Summer, you just have more people. Like during like July, just like a ton of people there. But like from September to January, it's like a madhouse because of Halloween Horror Nights, not so scary, very Merry Christmas party, and it's just everyone goes to the parks for Christmas. And, and so I'm thinking like that's really what they're trying to like push, to get back open and stuff. So people are always like, I don't think Disney's open until next year. And I'm like,
nah, they'll open.
Dude, let me tell you, this is the first time they've closed in, 50 years. Yeah. And so it's like, Walt Disney World, and it's like, I don't know, man. I think, if they can even let at least just premium pass holders or something come in, they'll have us come in because, once people get in there, dude, they're going to be, look, I'm getting a Dole Whip first thing. I'm getting a Dole Whip. I'm getting popcorn. I'm getting everything that I've wanted to have. And that's another thing I tell Abby all the time. Dude, I used to go in the parks all the time, never buy anything. I go in, film my thing, go home. Now it's like, I would give anything to walk on Main Street, grab a Coke and a popcorn, and just sit there and look at that castle.
Yeah.
Like, I don't have to ride anything. Take away the rides. I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, just let me sit. I just told her the other day, too. I was like, I would give anything to sit in Hollywood Studios and just listen to the music and be there and just see the architecture, Yeah. I think certain people, some people wish to go back to their old ways, but I feel like a lot of us will start to really take in what we experience, start really looking at things differently, safely too. I mean, I can't tell you, like, I think about, I get in my car, I go, I scan my Magic Band, I put my finger on the thing that everybody and their moms put their finger on.
Yeah.
I go and I'm like touching stuff on the walls. I'm looking at merchandise. I'm grabbing all this stuff. I'm wiping my face, I go and get Starbucks, and then I'll go and like, walk around and some more, and I may get something to eat, and I'm like sitting there eating, and I'm like, I didn't even wash my hands. I don't care. Like that's just yeah. So I think things are gonna be different, for sure.
Yeah.
But
yeah, they put their I guess the guidelines. I think I haven't pulled up here. For reopening, they're supposed to. There could be tape on the ground 6 feet apart. It's what I think one of the weirdest things going to be is all the cast members in face masks.
Yeah, instead of their smiling face.
Instead of their smiling faces, we're going to see face masks.
Well, they just Disney just put out like a bunch of Disney face masks.
Well, of course.
That you can wear now. So they'll probably be wearing all those. You can get like a Stitch one.
Where can I get one like that?
One with Mike Wazowski.
Well, as a matter of fact, right over here.
Yeah, right over here.
Maybe they'll do. Maybe the costuming department there will do like themed. So if it's Haunted Mansion, maybe it'll be like the Haunted Mansion wallpaper for them or something.
That'd be
kind of cool.
That'd be cool. That's
We talked about death with a big nose, just walking around. Like,
we talked about that. Character meet and greet should just be they should be in big, huge snow globes, and you just walk in and you stand beside them in the snow globe, and then at the exit you could buy a miniature snow globe with them.
I think honestly, like realistically, I think what it's going to be is you're going to walk up and Mickey and Minnie or whoever you're meeting is going to be standing in a spot, and they're going to have taped a line, and you come up and you can wave, Mickey, and they'll give you a wave and everything. It's going to be kind of sucky because you can't get that hug, and that's a really good hug. Yeah. And you stand on that tape, and then the way they'll take the photo, it'll be looking like you guys are right next to each other. You know how they can do that.
Yeah.
And I think that's literally how it'll be with the angle, and they'll tell you like, hey, stand here and take the photo.
You're on one green screen. They're on across the room on another green screen. It just puts you together.
There you go.
I have a video of us at Chef Mickey's, and my son is kissing Pluto on the nose, and it's like, dude, it's not gonna happen.
Not anymore.
And you think about it, it's like, oh my gosh, why did we do that?
That's a normal thing. I see it happen all the time when I'm at the parks. That's because they can make the nose move. Mickey and them always we'll do a little movement thing, and the kids come up and they grab that nose, Mickey's nose. It's so funny to watch.
Same kids have been licking the rails the whole day.
Gosh. That's the thing too. I think about this. The number one thing. Think about the number one thing you do besides pulling down your lap bar, pulling that yellow strap.
Yeah.
Everyone touches that yellow strap. So I don't know, man. Honestly, like
crazy.
I think but also think about this though. We've all been under quarantine, so everyone's been kind of away from each other, flattening the curve, as they say, and keeping the park. No one's been at the parks for this long, so they're keeping it clean and stuff like that. So I think once everything opens back up, it might be safer. I don't know. I'm not a doctor or anything.
Yeah. But I think our immune systems are not getting.
They're gonna be low.
Help. Because
that's one other reason why I've been getting out. Yeah. Like I have terrible allergies, and so it's like murder for me to go out. Yeah. But I'm like, I'm not gonna sit inside.
Yeah.
And lose this like immune system buildup that I've had living in Florida, and I don't know, man. I've been safe, been wearing a mask when I'm around people.
There's so many people that would leave Disney World and come home with some sort of weird illness, because there's so many people that come in from different countries and different walks of life that take care of themselves differently, and so that's going to be interesting. But it's like, I don't know. We're just not building it up, I guess.
Yeah, we go on Disney cruises like once a year. We'll go on a Disney cruise.
Oh yeah,
right. Like we rarely go to the park. Like me and my wife love to go on the cruises, and we have one scheduled for January, and I don't know what it's going to be like when we go on, because like
I feel like
you'll get something on those anyway. Like even without like a pandemic virus going around, you're going to pick something up on the cruise.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting.
With the cruise, though, I feel like they can like really implement the social distancing thing as well, though.
Yeah.
But I feel like with Disney, it's just going to be like when you walk in, it's going to be a one-way kind of thing, and you have to exit on this side of the street, and things like that. It'll be different, it'll definitely be different, but all in time, I think this too shall pass, and one day we'll look back at this, it's kind of like I was actually talking to my parents about it, like after the whole 9/11 thing. Like I remember being just terrified to be in the airport. Like I did not want to step foot in the airport. I was terrified as a kid. And, now it's like, it's no big deal. I don't even remember what it was like back then. I had to think back on that time. So I think, hopefully, a couple of years from now, we will kind of get back to feeling normal, but hopefully we're safer.
Yeah.
But Winchester said on our live stream that he once walked into the Magic Kingdom, looked around, took a phone call, and left.
Wow.
I want to know what the phone call was.
Yeah.
Get home, stat.
Well, see, so I live in Memphis, Tennessee, and we have membership to the zoo.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's a great
we'll
zoo.
go for maybe an hour or less, and just go to a certain part and be happy, because it's a great zoo and it feels like you're in a cool park and all this. And if I imagine if I would do the same thing in Disney World, if I lived down there, if I had a pass and I could go all the time, live close enough to go all the time, that I would be content just going in, taking a phone call, or just grab a Mickey bar and leave, or something. If I could do that, if I could be there, I imagine a lot of people do that. But
we do. My wife and I go, like Abby and I go. I mean, we have just made it to where Fort Wilderness is kind of like our go-to.
Nice.
The campgrounds for food. Like July 4th, we have a reservation for our annual July 4th barbecue. We go to Trails Inn and eat barbecue, and then go home. And like I've gone to, I just love Hollywood Studios anyways, and I've gone there and I went over and sat by Gertie the dinosaur, and just sat there for a little while, listened to the music, and I was like, well, I think I'm gonna walk down the Tower of Terror, just see what's going on Sunset Boulevard, and then head out.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I see people do that all the time. You look at the parks differently.
Sure.
Being a pass holder.
Sure.
Because I always tell people who first become pass holders, they try to do this Disney vacation every time they go. They're like, all right, we got to book all these fast passes. We got to have dining reservations. We got to have this. We got to stay and watch the fireworks. I'm like, you're going to get burnt out. Mark my words. You're going to get burnt out and you're not going to enjoy yourself anymore. I'm like, try something different.
Yeah.
Go and just spend a few hours at the Magic Kingdom, get an ice cream, go ride one ride or two. Like, really just be in the parks, because there's sometimes where I go to the parks, I don't even ride a ride. Like, I'll go and film whatever I'm going to film, and then I just kind of walk around and just, you start noticing things you've never seen before, buildings you've never seen. We really do use it as our local park.
Yeah, that's cool. Yeah,
go ahead. Especially Epcot. Epcot's like go and walk around for a little while.
Yeah,
get your steps in.
For sure.
Yeah, well, we lived in Florida. We actually lived in Lakeland for a few years, and we would. Oh, did we lose Ryan?
I think you did.
He said his computer crashed. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably not recording anymore,
it's
but
not
we can do
the podcast. But that's okay.
Yeah, but yeah, we lived in Lakeland. It was like
the video.
There you go. It was just like 30 minutes or so from like the parks and stuff like that. So we would just go to downtown Disney and just hang out downtown Disney all the time. My wife is not one to really ride rides. Like she'll go on like the smaller stuff that isn't like the thrill ride type things.
Sure.
So we just like walk the park constantly and just kind of look at stuff. I would maybe go do like one or two rides, just doing like the single rider line and go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny because we haven't been in the park for forever, and so there's a ton of rides Jenny hasn't rode. So we went on YouTube and started watching all the rides on there. That she's never ridden before. So she's just like, oh, this is what Tower of Terror is like. Oh, there's like a thing that you go through before you drop. I thought it just went up and down.
That's awesome. Yeah.
You're sorry.
He's back.
I'm back. My computer just crashed and the recording did not. It went away.
It's okay.
So we'll have to take the recording off the video.
Yeah, off the video. It'll be fine.
Yeah. Oh man, it was we were about at an hour too. The whole thing just froze and crashed.
Oh man. One thing left to talk about with that parks thing, dude. Abby and I can't tell you how many times it's like go into Magic Kingdom, go straight over and ride Haunted Mansion, go over and ride People Mover,
and go
call it a day.
See, I'd love that. So we go every 2 years, my family, because we want to save money enough to and also spread it out, and just not because it costs a lot to go, to travel and all that. And I love planning it and thinking about it. But then when I'm there, I don't feel like I really enjoy it that much because I'm thinking about, okay, I got to get to this next. And I'm really trying on this next one coming up. It's like I'm leaving a lot of flexibility in there. We made less ADRs, which again, we may not even go, whatever. But, and I want to try just kind of going with the flow because if we do happen to go, it's going to be packed. It's going to be crazy. It may not be packed. It may just be crazy. You may not be able to do everything you want to do. So I'm hoping it'll be more. My
best advice, only because my family comes down to see me once a year.
Yeah.
It's my mom, my brother, my sister-in-law, and my grandmother, and they come and see me, and we do Universal and Disney. And the first couple of years they came, I was like you. I was like Mr. Itinerary, and I'm like, you guys want to do everything? We're doing everything. Meet you there at 5 a.m. It's like we would say until they would kick us out. And now, the last couple of years, it's kind of like they've done it every year. So they're kind of like, when we go to Universal, I'm like, what do you guys want to do? And Mom's like, well, I kind of want to do Fallon. And then can we go do ET? And I'm like, yeah, and whatever you want to do. Like, and we do everything, but it's like when you kind of go with the flow, especially because you never know what the day is going to be like.
For sure.
Now, I know there are people out there who are like, this is what the projection was last year. This is how the wait times were. And they do that kind of stuff. It's awesome, but you never know. And honestly, man, like that's some of the best times on a vacation. It's like when you're walking and then you look over and you see Jungle Cruise and you're like, it's only 20 minutes.
Yeah.
You guys want to go? While we're in line, I can look for a fast pass.
Right.
And we can do something afterwards. That's like I don't know, man. Because family time is very important.
Yeah.
And looking back now, like I just looked back on my photos in my iCloud, and I found some of us doing some funny stuff in the Jimmy Fallon line, waiting for the actual. We had to do the pre-show thing with the Roots twice. I don't know if you guys have done the attraction. Okay, so the Jimmy Fallon attraction, you go in, you're in Rockefeller Plaza, and they have it, and they go over the rules, and the Roots are playing a song, and you feel like you're in a studio audience. Something happened with the attraction, they had to do it twice. So the second time around we were watching, we were like taking goofy photos, and we were using those filters and stuff they had on Snapchat. My brother had them, and they would give you like funky hairdos and stuff. And there's pictures of like me and my grandmother and like doing that kind of stuff. And I'm like, every time I go back to Jimmy Fallon and I ride that, I think about that. Mm-hmm. So you gotta like, all these families are like, you can't create memories at Disney anymore. And I'm like, yes, you can. Yeah. When you're in the queue, take pictures, video stuff, like, create those like little moments and stuff. Because you look back at like Abby and I, even being local, I look back on like photos all the time, and I'm like, do you remember when we were standing in this line? And she's like, yeah. And I'm like, that was the hottest day ever. We laugh about it now, but I don't know, man. I say just wing it, dude.
Yeah, we're big planners, or at least me and my son are. My wife gets irritated because my son is like, okay, we're going to do this, like just with anything, and makes these big plans. And my wife gets so frustrated because she's like, just chill out, man, because it may not happen the way you think it is, because he'll get upset, But it's because I have the spreadsheet for our trips, just because I want to make sure we get the things we want to get in, right? Because again, it's only every 2 years we go, but we're getting to where we've gone enough. Like I've been going since 2003 or something, and my wife, and pretty much every 2 years, my wife and I, and our son, for the last, this will be his fourth trip, I think, third or fourth trip. But it's like we're getting to where we've ridden everything, and I think we're getting closer to that point where we can really just wing it and say, okay, well, at least we got this in. And usually we take a day where we go do something different. Like last year we went to Legoland, and this year we don't have that built in. So we actually have an extra day at a park, I think. And that might be what we do, is, just kind of take it easy. And especially, I think the day we get there, we're going to just kind of do that. So I'm hopeful that we can do that and not worry about things. That's my goal. Just to relax.
That's why I go with you, because I'm the laid back.
Oh, well, I still pull you around everywhere. So we got this dinner reservation.
My family used to be all big about those dinner reservation things, and then finally, like, my mom's like, well, if we're gonna be at Magic Kingdom, she's like, I kind of just want a hot dog for lunch, She's like, can we just get something to go? And like, so like we go to like Casey's. So my mom and like them, they like Casey's Corner a lot, and they like I always call it Cosmic Rays, but Cosmic Rays. There's a full name for it.
Oh, that's all I know. Starlight Cafe, is that what it is?
That's it, the Starlight Cafe. But they like that place. They like to do something quick because they're like, let's just eat something real quick and let's go, do something else.
Yeah.
But have you guys done everything at the Magic Kingdom?
Probably not. That's the thing. It's like
I have.
I haven't. I mean, we've never done the wizard thing. Like, we don't feel like we have enough time to spend doing what isn't, to go around to those things and do all that. But that seems like so much fun.
It's fun. It's
just to go see everything.
You're traveling though from like, I remember one time I did it and it was like, started off on Main Street, and then I had to go all the way to like Adventureland, and then I had to go all the way to like Tomorrowland, and then I had to go back to Main Street, and I was like,
oh my gosh,
okay, I'd rather just like, if you guys haven't done like Tom Sawyer Island.
Yeah, we did that the last time. So we did that the last time, and we did the Pirate Adventure, or not Pirate Adventure, the one where you get the
that
map.
One's fun. Yes, that's fun. The Pirate Adventure.
Cool.
Yeah, that thing is awesome.
And we tried to do the Agent P the last time, so it'll be the DuckTales next time. But so we tried.
Yeah,
I'm still trying to convince him to go to Hoop-Dee-Doo Review. I love it, and he's always like, I don't know.
So here's the thing, though. It's like I'm trying to reduce those times where we're just sitting somewhere eating too, and it's, I mean, we're going to do Ohana this next time. I got a reservation, and we haven't done it in so long, and my son's never done it, so he'll like it. And but it's like I realized on the last trip that we had too many things reserved, so we spent our time trying to fit in other things around food.
Yeah.
And that's my life. I always look forward to lunch and dinner and breakfast. I love eating. So, but the good thing is they've got so many good quick service places now, and you can do the mobile ordering, and you can get in and out quick.
Dude.
And
mobile ordering. I did a video on mobile ordering because I was so stoked about it. I was like, more people need to know about this thing.
Yeah.
Because, man, like they have mobile ordering now for Dole Whips, and that's a lifesaver.
Yeah.
Because that line, I don't know what happened, but it was just like all of a sudden, I guess because of the merchandise and stuff, but like I remember, 6 years ago, going to the park and like getting a citrus swirl was like you just walk up. And if you Dole Whip, you just walked up. Yep. Now it's like there's like extended lines and people handing you a menu. Like you have a. Why would I need a menu? I know what I want. Yeah. I'm getting a Dole Whip, But it's like they're trying to keep you preoccupied, and it's like, holy jeez, man! That used to be for a hot minute. Turkey legs were like that. Everyone was obsessed with the Disney. They had merchandise. They had the T-shirts. They had the smell things for your car, air fresheners. They had everything turkey leg. The turkey leg stand over in Adventureland used to be so long, and now it's the Dole Whip. So we'll have to wait and see what else becomes popular.
Next? Yeah,
Toronto roaster wrap thing. That thing is amazing.
Oh yeah, mobile ordering for that is nice.
Yes,
that's what I did last time. Just walk straight up and they just hand you one.
We do mobile ordering at home with everything. I mean, if they don't have mobile ordering, we're
now
not.
Now texting your wife something you want out of the refrigerator. It's not mobile ordering.
No, I mean like so Chick-fil-A. I don't even go into Chick-fil-A anymore because it's like you order it and go pick it up and you're out. You don't have to talk to anybody. And you get it quickly. And Jersey Mike's and all these places I can go to quickly for lunch, that are right near. Go get them and come back. Of course, you get all these points. You get free food, and all. That's what Disney needs to do is have. You get all these points, and you can get the free Dole Whip, right? But so it just made sense for us. We're like, once they turn that on, it's like, man, this is our place again. So we can eat these places. So I'm excited.
They should do a discount thing at the parks because they'll never really do like a free thing. Yeah. But if they did like a buy 5 Dole Whips, the next one you get like 10% off or something. People who are non-pass holders, they would be stoked about.
Sure. They'd sell them. They give away
some. I noticed
too.
Publix. I don't know if you guys have Publix, but our Publix grocery store. I noticed last time I was there buying something, they said use the mobile app and you can pay for your stuff using your phone, so you don't have to touch anything. Yeah. And I was that's kind of smart.
I think Walmart does that too, don't they? And Target does.
I know Sam's Club does. I know Sam's Club. You could go in and just scan everything, and then just show them your phone on the way out.
Yeah,
and that's all you have to do.
I think I'm going to start doing the Apple Pay thing. I know so many people who do that.
Yeah, we do that.
You just use your phone and scan your phone on the thing.
Yeah.
And you're good to go. Because one thing, you don't have to carry your debit card with you.
I have a guy that I work with that he's a Mr. Apple, like everything, and he doesn't carry around a wallet for that reason because he likes to go and do that just to. I think part of it is just to show off. And it's like, look at me.
Just to show off.
He's got this watch and all that, But it's so annoying. But it is really cool. We do it, I do it. My wife doesn't care for it, but I'll use the phone, and it's nice because it's ding, you're done.
Yeah.
So
I'm wondering if they're going to do something different. Like the last day the parks were open, we went. And they did not make anybody put their fingerprint down.
Yeah, I think
it was just scan your pass and go in. So I'm wondering if that's going to be the new.
Now they're going to scan your temperature.
Yep.
And then you
I've heard about that.
Somebody said they need to have some kind of scanner that will scan your temperature, check for metal, and all the things right as you go through, so that it's one. Maybe it's slow, but at least you're done, right? You just go through this one scanner. So
they have these new thermometer things where they literally just like hold it up like against your forehead, and it's just like
It stinks though, like if you like normally run high or something, they're gonna scan you, and you're gonna be like, "No, that's my normal." Like, nope, sorry, you can't go in. It's like,
I don't know, man. That's so weird because I've seen so many people go to the theme parks who are sick as a dog. I remember being there and like this person. I remember talking to this person. It was a person who liked my stuff, and I remember them talking. They're like, my wife's around here. And they're just like, she's got the flu, man, but she was like, I'm not missing out. And I was like, oh.
Oh my gosh.
Goodbye.
Like, man, I hope like, if I was gonna have the flu, I'd rather be cozied up in a hotel at Disney than anywhere else. But man, that's a trooper. When I'm sick, I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah.
But
this is true. All right, before I don't know what our time is since my
1 hour and 31 minutes.
Oh wow!
Well,
that's
for
the
live feed.
Video.
That's for the live feed.
That's with the live.
But then,
so
maybe hour and 15 or something.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So, do you have any? Because you've done a bunch of traveling. Do you have any funny, crazy, or spooky stories from your trips on the road that you might want to just share with us tonight?
Yeah, I'll try and keep them quick. I can ramble on for hours.
You're fine. Take your time.
One spooky one. We were doing the filming locations of Hocus Pocus in Salem, and Abby and I planned it out for months and months and months on Google Earth, as I normally do, and like get every spot exact. So when I get there, I know exactly where to go. I can knock it out and be done with it. And we had to go to Marblehead for the cemetery scene where they meet up with Jay and Ice, and it's weird. When they filmed Hocus Pocus, they filmed a few things in Salem. They filmed a few things in Marblehead, which is across the river. Technically, it's right down the street. And so when Max is riding his bike to that cemetery, there's one scene where he goes up this like little hill, and there's this tombstone, and I matched that one up perfect. And I was like, this is so cool because it's out in the middle of the woods. Like, you kind of have to trek through the woods, and there's only like 1 or 2 tombstones out there. And Salem, like we're in Old Burial Hill, which is the oldest cemetery like ever. And so we're sitting there, and I kid you guys not, it's just me and Abby out there. All of a sudden, I smell this ungodly smell, and it's not like a dead animal. It's like a dead body almost. Like, it is like this like sour, and Abby doesn't smell it. And I'm like, do you smell that? And she's like, no, I don't. What are you talking about? I was like I was getting sick. Like, I was like, give me a second. And I was like sitting there, I was just like, and I was like, you don't smell it? I'm like, come here. But like, I got her like right next to me. And I'm like, smell it.
It smells really bad. Just
smell it.
Check out the sock.
So like, I kind of like put it behind me because I wanted to get the video done, and weather was perfect that day. And that the rest of the day, I had these weird smells. Like, we went, for some reason, for lunch that day, we were just tired. We were traveling all day doing the filming location stuff. We got Taco Bell. And, I remember going to Taco Bell, and I was like, oh my God, it smells horrible in here. And she's like, what? And I'm like, something is just wrong. Like, something is like, I don't know what it was. And I went home, and I just was editing the video, and I got to that spot when we were there at that cemetery, and I was like, I Googled it. I was like, can you have weird smells in a cemetery? Or like, do ghosts put off weird smells or paranormal? I was just like, I humor myself. And I read on there that spirits that do not want you around can sometimes put a foul smell. And I don't know what you guys, if anybody believes this kind of stuff, I'm, whatever. But when I read that, I was kind of like, that's weird.
Yeah, it's weird.
And I told Abby, and she was like, that is weird. She was like, I was right next to you, and I didn't smell anything. And I was like, she was like, you were sick. Like, you were like sick to your stomach with that scent. Wow. And the rest of the day, like, everything tasted foul, and I was just very sick to my stomach. And he and I have been eating and drinking, doing the same stuff, and I didn't get sick on that trip, except for that one time. So that was kind of weird. That was kind of a little spooky. And every time I see that spot, yeah,
ghost farts.
Some ghost went right up to your face and just farted right in it.
He was just like,
either that or your wife eating something that gave her a big gas that she didn't want to admit.
Exactly.
She's like, I don't smell anything. I don't know what you're talking about.
Must be a ghost fart.
Like, when I watch that movie now and I see that scene, I can like vividly remember just that feeling. And then if I like go back and watch my video or something, I'm like, oh, I feel it's weird. It's so weird, man. That's happened. Adam and I always, when we're together, we always laugh too, because when we go and film something funny always happens, like something crazy. like we meet some weird person or something. Just I don't know. You bump into some interesting characters when you're out doing filming stuff. I've run into people like I was sitting there filming something at the parks. This always happens too. It's not just like at the Disney parks. It's pretty much anywhere in the world. If I'm out there holding my phone or my camera and I'm getting it right on the right spot and I'm sitting there, I've had people physically walk up right next to me and look at what I'm doing. They get their camera and they take this back picture. And I'm like, dude, why are you taking a picture of this brick wall? Like, there's no significance to this brick wall to you unless you know that this brick wall was used in an episode of Boy Meets World. You know what I mean? It's like, if I'm going to film a location or something, it's like, what is... And I mean, they are like touching my shoulder, like, I've had them do that, and I'm like, is he joking? That's so weird. Like, I'm looking around like are they, you know, are they making fun, or is he trying to be funny? And it's like, no, they're being serious.
Wow.
Also, another thing that happens every time I film, and Abby notices it now too, and she starts laughing. I could be in a desert island by myself, not a soul within 100,000 miles, and as soon as I click that record button, clear my throat, something turns on, a siren, someone starts talking, a kid starts crying. I've had people, like, I start to go film, and this guy just right next to us has this sneezing fit for 5 minutes. And it's like so loud where I'm like, I can't film this right now. I remember one time Adam was with me. This is what I was talking about with us. I was trying to get this one scene, and this lady kept turning her ECV on and doing the beep, beep. And you could listen. Finally, when I was filming it, it went on, and I just like screamed. I was just like, ah! Because I could not get this one scene in, because every time I went to talk, the beep, beep, beep would cut on. It's just stuff like that happens all the time. You got to roll with it, you know. Now I'll just talk over it. I don't care. Yeah. You know, that's another thing about growing with doing the filming stuff. But yeah, the Hocus Pocus thing, man, I still think about that. That was just too weird.
Huh. Ghost farts. That's another name for this episode.
Yep. The only other time I've ever had anything crazy like that happen too, I filmed years ago. And I still have the footage. Just put it on YouTube. It's on my channel. I went out to Kissimmee and filmed in another graveyard, and my camera shut off while we were out there for some strange... I mean, it just shut off. Took the battery out, put it back in, and then it turned back on. I had the footage still up to that point. All of a sudden, it just... There was no rhyme or reason for it to do that. It wasn't hot. It wasn't... I've never had it happen before. So...
There you go. Ghost farts and hamburgers.
Yeah, man.
Well, for those that didn't know, just wanted to clear it up. Adam is Adam the Woo.
Sorry, yeah.
No, that's fine. I just know some of our listeners may not know. Adam the Woo is a cool guy too on YouTube. We haven't had him on the show yet. He's hard to get a hold of. So
yeah.
I've met him a couple of times and hung out with him. We went to Halloween Horror Nights one year with him and Tim Tracker and me. That was fun. But yeah, he's what?
I went with them one year, and we went and hung out with someone. What year was this? Did you guys have Express?
I did not.
Okay. This is before I started doing YouTube. This was like in 2014 or something.
Yeah, it's been a long time ago. It may have been.
It might have been you.
So funny.
It was. I just remember that most of the night it was Adam and myself talking while Tim was taking pictures with people.
Yeah.
And Adam was like, man, he needs to chill on that. Just tell him he's got to go.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when I still lived in Florida. So it's been a while back, but who knows? We could have been there together. Aww. I don't know. But anyways, well, thanks for coming back on, man.
Oh, anytime. You guys are awesome. I feel like I can just hang out. It's weird.
That's cool. That's what we're all about. Just hanging out and having fun. Anybody I know we're a little behind. Anybody on the live stream got any questions before we wrap it up?
There'll be a delay.
There's going to be a delay.
There will be a delay.
So did you all watch the Goonies thing out here? We can fill in time here. The Goonies interview with Josh Gad. So
yeah.
I didn't get to see it yet.
Oh my gosh, it's incredible. You got to watch it. If you're a Goonies fan, you'll love it.
I have to the point where I have a chunk of the original porch.
Oh my goodness.
Years ago, they renovated the porch that wraps around, and they donated pieces of it with the original paint. And they went out and took a picture and made this really cool card that says, "Own a piece of the Goonies house," and it has like all the proceeds went to kids who play sports with cancer. And it was like $15, and I was like, here's $20. Thank you for a piece of history.
Yeah.
And these kids are getting some help, you know, like that's so amazing. And then I met Corey Feldman at the Goonies reunion they had at MegaCon, and it was him and Sean Astin, and it was amazing. Like going to the panel was just so cool because like Sean Astin is one of those like, just because his dad was a huge celebrity, you know, like a lot of people don't know his dad was Gomez Addams in the original Addams Family, you know, and like his family is just they are real Hollywood celebrities. And he, you know, Stranger Things and so many things, Rudy, and you know, I've never seen somebody who sit behind his table and just be so cool with the fans. Like when I was sitting there waiting for Corey to come back, because I did a private photo with him, and I got him to sign my Jason Voorhees mask because I love the final chapter, Jason Friday the 13th, and I was sitting there watching Sean Astin talking to the fans and stuff, and they want to get a photo and stuff. He's like, "Well, come around," and he's like, you know, get the good angle. Is that, you know, and they take it. And he's like, "Is that one you like? You sure you like that one?" You know, and he's like, "Well, take a couple of more just in case." You know, and he's like, "Do a live video or do a live photo just in case." You know, it's like, this dude is incredible. Like, you don't see a lot of that stuff because I go to a lot of conventions. I meet a lot of celebrity people, and I don't know, man. He's up there on the list. So is Christopher Lloyd. I boldly I had the photo shoot thing with him at Spooky Empire here in Orlando the next day, but the first night he was just sitting there and no one was over at his table, like for some strange reason. And so I just walked up to his handler and I said, "Can I talk to Chris for a minute? I'm not asking for anything for free. I have the photo shoot tomorrow. I just want to chit chat with him because I know that's going to be rushed." And she was like, yeah, he'd love it. Go ahead. So I just walked over to him and I'm just like, "Hey, Chris." And he's just like, "Hey, how you doing?" Shook my hand and we started talking about Pasadena and the filming location area for Back to the Future, and then started talking about Taxi. And then when I brought up Switchblade Sam, which was the character he played in Dennis the Menace, his eyes kind of like lit up and he was like, "Well, I'll tell you about that one." You know, and he's like goes into this whole thing, and I was like, blows my mind that Nick Castle directed that movie, who was Michael Myers, the original Michael Myers. And he like looked at me and he was just like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "It's also a Back to the Future reunion with you and Leah Thompson." And he was so stoked about Dennis the Menace. That was cool to me. Like, because I'm sure he's like, "Yeah, great Scott, la la la," you know. 1.21. I get it, dude. I get it. You don't want to, you know. But with him, man, he lit up with Dennis the Menace. That was so cool.
That's awesome. We do have a YouTube question.
Cool.
If you have any recommendations for the Orlando area that isn't a theme park, what would it be?
I have several. If you're looking for like a local place where you can just park, walk down the street, and there's shopping and local restaurants and just, I don't know, a small town feel that's not far from Disney, Winter Garden. There's a lot of good places to eat in that area. It's literally like 15 minutes behind the Magic Kingdom. It's a small little town. People ride go-karts locally. Oh, wow. That's how they get to places. And the cops are cool with it. They have car shows there. Old Town is kind of along the lines of like an amusement thing. There's a lot of stores and there's a haunted house. But like, you can get cheap beer and you can get $1.50 Pepsi in a bottle and walk around and drink it. And there's karaoke, and there's usually every Saturday night or Friday and Saturday night they have car shows there. They're free. Walk around, look at classic cars, and you're right there on Highway 192, so it's not far from the resorts. And get down to like some old Florida spots like Lakeland and Winter Haven. I've been doing some filming for the next couple of days down in those spots, and I don't know what kind of time you have to kill on your vacation if you're coming down for a vacation, but like there's so many good antique stores down there. There's an old theater called the Polk Theater. It's an old movie theater to the point where when they show stuff, they have an organist who plays beforehand, just like you would back in the day. Cool. I don't know. There's just so many cool. Kind of get lost. Like I always recommend people just to. Here's how you can remember how to get back to your resort. Interstate 4. You have I-4 East and I-4 West. I-4 West will always take you towards Walt Disney World. I-4 East is everything else. So go get lost and then just ask somebody, hey, I need to get back to I-4 West towards Disney? And they'll tell you exactly where to go. And just there's so many cool little places. Downtown Orlando is a beautiful little it's such a small, big city. Everyone's so friendly. And I don't know, man. I've always had really good times when I go downtown. I've never had a bad experience. So that's what I recommend.
Awesome.
There's like I'm trying to remember the name of this. It's like a small town that's near Orlando that my wife and I went to one time, and it's such a neat place. It was like you're stepping back in time almost, but I can't remember the name of it.
It wasn't Celebration.
No.
Okay.
It was like Chris. It reminded me of Jonesboro.
You've got Windermere, you've got Winter Garden, you've got Winter Park. These are all little areas like that. Like they have like cute little downtown, Main Street and a town square type thing.
Yeah, I'm not gonna find it. I don't remember. And it was very like it was like on a hill. It was like very hilly, which was odd for Florida.
Claremont has a lot of hills.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Claremont.
We ate in this old ice cream parlor. It was cool. I don't know. Maybe I stepped back in time. Maybe I stepped into a time machine.
Went through a rift.
You went to Pleasantville?
Pleasantville, yes. Pleasantville. Oh well. I'll remember it as soon as we
as soon as we get off the air.
Anyways, well, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you guys.
It was fun. Hopefully, maybe in October, we'll both be in the same place, and we could at least say hello in person.
Absolutely.
I'll take you. We'll meet up in Star Wars Land, your favorite place.
Yeah, man. Hey, that's the thing. Real quick though, I do like Batu. That area is cool, man. Like it's fun.
Yeah.
I always go and I always like to check out all the stuff because I mean, like I always said, Star Wars stuff is eye candy. It's cool looking. Yeah. You can't help but be stoked when you see something.
Yeah.
It
is.
You're not going to have to worry about me buying something. That piece of merchandise will always be there for you because I'm not going to get it. So I'm helping you guys out.
Yeah, that's my problem with Batu. I want to buy everything. Yeah. And I wasn't like that before at Disney. I rarely bought like souvenirs from Disney.
Yeah.
But Batu, yeah, it gets me every time. Anyways, well, thank you. This I guess I should wrap up the recording and then we'll wrap up the live stream, even though I don't have the recording now. We'll figure that out. Anyway, this has been episode 145 of I Am Geek, and we will talk with you next week.
Bye-bye.